speaking with?
The driver of this car. Unless I've broken a law, I don't have to identify. Now, am I free to leave?
No, you're not at this point, okay?
What crime are you stopping me for?
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. In early 2019, a viewer with the channel, Mackie Lee Productions, was driving home and stopped to call his wife at a city park. After leaving, he alleges that a vehicle followed him, and after learning it was a police officer, he stopped and told the cop to get lost. Over the next few weeks, he claims he was pulled over several times in what he believes was retaliation, and after being denied the right to file a complaint, he finally started filming. And one evening, while parked, an officer took up a spot behind him and filled the interior of his vehicle.
I called the St. Clair Police Department and asked them to call the guy off. 22 minutes he's been sitting here. Parking is legal here. There are no signs. All right, finally gonna drive away. Car 301. We'll have to back that up and see if he put his signal on 100 feet from the corner.
That continued for 40 minutes before the cop left, but just a couple weeks later, on his 5th encounter and 4th time being pulled over within a couple months, he recorded this traffic stop.
Yes?
Do you have a driver's license, registration, proof of insurance?
What are you stopping me for?
Go ahead and provide that information and we'll be more than happy to let you know.
Well, you have to have a crime or infraction for me to identify myself, sir.
Okay. Who am I speaking with?
The driver of this car.
Okay.
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Schneider.
Officer Schneider. What is the nature of the stop?
I don't want to know why you're driving by me with the window down. I'm not sure what you're doing.
Is that a crime, sir?
Okay.
Is that illegal?
Suspicion. Okay.
Is it a crime? Is that a lawful stop because I drove with my window down?
I gave you the reason for the stop. Who am I speaking with?
The driver of this car.
Okay. Provide your identification.
In most cases, an officer has no lawful duty to articulate their reason for a traffic stop, but it is always your right to ask, as Mackie has done here. Fortunately, the officer answered, telling him that the reason for the encounter was because Mackie dared to have his window lowered in March. While this is often looked for by officers as a sign of a possible DUI, it is insufficient for the purpose of pulling someone over on its own, and unless the officer has other evidence or articulable facts that Mackie was involved in a crime or committed a traffic offense, this is an unlawful stop and a clear violation of the driver's civil rights.
For what? I didn't commit a crime. Driving with the window down is not unlawful. If that's all you've got, you better get a supervisor out here.
Who am I speaking with?
You don't need to know that. I haven't broken a law.
Where are you headed to tonight?
That's none of your business.
It is some of my business.
It's not your business. It's irrelevant to you.
No, it's not.
Why is it not irrelevant?
This is the 3rd time that I've seen you driving by. When you drive by with your window down and your hand hanging out, saying...
Is that against the law?
Okay. It raises reasonable suspicion for me to stop you.
Suspicion is not a crime. You've stopped me.
Okay. So who am I speaking with? So I can...
You don't need to know that.
I do need to know that.
For what?
To know if you have a reason to be in this area now at this point in time.
Is it illegal to be in this area?
Okay. We've had crimes going on in this area. And
Wonderful.
You're a suspicious person in this area.
Okay.
I want to know who I'm speaking with.
Okay, you don't need to know.
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
Unless I've broken a law, I don't have to identify. Now, am I free to leave?
No, you're not at this point, okay?
What crime are you stopping me for?
I advise you why you're stopped.
Suspicious is not a crime. When I've done something wrong, then you may stop and detain me.
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
I'm not answering any questions. You let me know when I'm free to go, and if I'm not, you get a supervisor out here who can explain to you that unless I've broken a law, you cannot detain me, and I do not have to identify.
Where are you headed to tonight?
That's none of your business. I already told you I'm not answering questions.
Where are you coming from?
Are you stupid? Obviously you are.
Why do you think that I'm stupid?
You let me know when I'm free to go.
Okay. Where are you headed to tonight?
Do you always violate people's rights?
Not violating any rights at this time.
Absolutely you are.
What rights am I violating?
You're unlawfully detaining me. You're violating my Fourth Amendment right to travel freely.
Now, so I'm not violating any rights.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I haven't committed a crime.
Okay.
Driving is not illegal. Driving with the window down is not illegal. Driving in this area is not illegal. So until you have a reason, kick rocks. Now, am I going to get that supervisor?
No, I don't find a reason to wake my supervisor up this time.
Well, you don't, but I do.
Okay, then you can contact them.
Clearly, you have an issue with me driving.
It's my job to...
Your job to stop people unlawfully.
I'm not unlawfully stopping anybody.
You're preventing me from going to my destination.
Where is that? I'd be more than happy to let you continue on your destination.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Where's your destination?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, you said goodbye. Am I being detained?
Never once said you were being detained.
Not being detained. All right, for the record, this officer is not detaining me. All right, goodbye.
Mackey pulled away after the officer changed his story and claimed that he had never detained him in the first place. Mackey then conducts a U-turn.
F you.
He then posted the video to YouTube and the city's Facebook page, while also sending it to the chief, city council, and mayor. He now reports that all harassment has since stopped. A traffic stop without a lawful reason is an unlawful detention. No government agent should have the authority to command you to stop with force up to and including death with no justifiable cause. We often hear that the Terry stop is the issue, and constitutional originalists agree that it is. But this event didn't even meet the minimum standards to effect an investigative detention, as there was no crime. And if Mackey had failed to film the encounter, Officer Schneider could have done anything he pleased that evening. Which is why I remind you to talk to your family members often about how to act during these situations, and to be certain that every camera lens available is turned towards these brave officers as they look and pry for reasons to justify revoking your liberty, because that is exactly what happened during this stop. There was no crime reported in the area, no calls of a disturbance, not even a traffic infraction to testify to, but the officers still encroached on this man's freedom by abusing the state powers he was gifted, and did it on camera because he either doesn't understand what his oath meant or comfortably accepts his own moral ambiguity. Either way, always record and refuse to give information that you have no legal duty to provide. If you need a recommendation for a dashcam, my links can be found in the description and pinned comment. A big thanks to Mackey for sending this video in. Be sure to check out his channel, and while you're there, let him know that I sent you. Thanks for watching. If you have a video, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe and hit the bell for future content, and check out our other channels, Lady Lackluster and The Odd Side. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment about what you think of this interaction. It's the easiest way for you to help expose corruption and misconduct. Merchandise is available using the links below. Join the LackLuster family for just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel. Get a Lack logo next to your name, custom emotes, and early access to videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All links are down below.